Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Women's Basketball Report. I'm your host, Ben Rosenbaum, as always, joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Laura Harper. Coach, welcome back. Another week in 1-1.
Yes, we'll take it 1-1. Thank you so much.
So let's talk about STEM Day. First of all, a tough loss, 65-60 to UMBC, but a really great day for this athletics department and a lot of school kids around the county and city area. 3,590 in attendance, and that is a program record and STEM Day record. Just your thoughts, first of all, on the day, and obviously you'd like to get the win, but it's a great day inside TU Arena.
Of course. First of all, just phenomenal show up, following, energy, atmosphere. I think, our student athletes just engaging with, just the young girls and boys there that were just extremely in tune to what was going on. It was amazing. Just credit to our administration just for making that day so successful. And those are the environments we want to play in.
Yeah, absolutely. Nahadi Lay, 17 points, 5 rebounds, just act one of her 2 acts week that was on the way to Rookie of the Week honors back-to-back for the CAA. Just her game, and before we get into the game, just her game, she continues to just put it all together. We're seeing it week by week. She gets better and better.
Of course, we knew the talent, that Heidi exhibited, and it just was a matter of time for her to get comfortable, for us to figure out how to best and most effectively utilize her, which I think, even bringing her off the bench has been something that it's a coach's dream to have that kind of bang coming off the bench, and I think she likes just settling into the game to watch, and she's doing a phenomenal job. Down
the stretch, that game started to get tight, went back and forth a little bit. Just your thoughts on how that game ended up playing out, and your team kept fighting until the end, but obviously coming up short. Just your thoughts on their fight. They didn't give up at any point during that game.
Of course, at one point we were down 18 in the third quarter, so the fact that we had that capacity to really come back from any sort of deficit says a lot about the resilience of this team. And we had a play and an opportunity to win it and go ahead one, and we just missed it. So ultimately, it's a long season. We have over 20 games left, and we're still encouraged.
India Johnston, she had been coming off that double-double over Youngstown State. She regresses a little bit in the UMBC game. What do you say to her? Again, she's still filling into this role, but as she tries to find that consistency of being that premier player.
Of course, India knows I have the utmost confidence in her as a player, as a person, and, every single game she takes steps, even of just her managing some of this weight. We try to keep it as light as possible, but she knows she has to score for us to be successful. So it was just nice to see other players stepping up as well.
So one stat that jumped out was the turnovers against UMBC, and UMBC capitalizing 24 points off of 26 turnovers. What was said to them between the UMBC and American game? Because we get to American and the ball security was much better.
Well, I also think we weren't being pressured as much versus American, but ultimately we know the importance of valuing each possession and us just having a sense of urgency, from on the defensive end to hopefully maybe that can just spur up some of our offense, and I do feel like that pressure did help us.
So American here this past weekend, 89-62, a victory for the Tigers. That had to feel good, a bounce back game, and it seemed like early on you guys were getting everything you wanted.
Yeah, it was really a game that was about us and us trying to impose our will again defensively, because that's something we feel is in our control, and letting them run and play a little bit more freely. I thought it showed. They looked like they were having fun. We were distributing the ball. I'm not sure, but I want to say season high in assists that game as well. So it was just fun to watch. 4 Tigers in double digits, led by Hadi's double-double, 18 and 10. India and AJ each with 13, and then Aminata Jakite with a double-double as well of 12 and 10. We've talked about Jakite before on this show, that she can explode and have a great day, and she can have days where she just kind of does the little things, but that was a really gritty and great performance from her. She was all over the place that night. Yeah, Amina is very capable of this caliber of performance. We see it in practice, and again, it was just fun to see her getting in the mix, rebounding the ball for us, shooting the ball with confidence, and just, again, her and Heidi coming off the bench gives us another just level of pop.
And we mentioned the turnovers, just 12 turnovers against American, and your freshman point guard, Sharia Baines, 0 turnovers for her. India, who was your other primary ball handler, just 1 turnover for her, so you had to be very pleased with your 2 guards that day.
Absolutely. Definitely handling the ball and ball security is an area of contention for us and something that we're focusing on, so that was just a phenomenal job by both of them.
Looking at rebounds in the rebounding battle, that's been an up and down case for the Tigers. You tie it against American, you lose it, I think, at UMBC or against UMBC, and we know how important rebounding is to you. Have you been frustrated by the rebounding output so far?
You know, I think we should get every rebound. I don't think a team should get a single offensive rebound on us, but that's just my mentality, and that's how I was as a player. I think still keeping that demand high of understanding the value of possessions. You know, the rebounding, the turnovers, that they all go into the formula of how to win a game. So a little bit frustrated, but know that we're trending up in that direction.
So now, in a year that your schedule has had all the quirks that a schedule can have, you're off for quite a bit of time. You're off until the 29th against Columbia. Before we even talk about Columbia, how do you handle being off this much? How much rest do you give them? Do you turn it up maybe a little bit at times? Because Columbia will play between now and your game against them. So how do you try to keep it so at least they get a game-like atmosphere under them?
Of course. You know, I do think they have one other game, but then similar to us, they're off for finals. You know, that academic institution, they need to make sure that they're focused just like us. We need to reset, recalibrate, you know, find what our identity is and how we can, you know, build on what that success looks like.
And then looking at Columbia again, we're weeks away, so nothing too in-depth here today, but 7-4, they beat CAA opponent Stony Brook pretty handily, 87-74. They'll play Wagner on the 21st before Towson. Just when you take a quick look at Columbia, and especially what they did to a usually strong Stony Brook squad, what jumps out at you about Columbia?
I mean, they're just extremely fundamentally sound. Everyone can shoot the three at a high level. Defensively, they hold most of their opponents to one shot. They play just structured, and they don't turn the ball over a lot. They are just a really, really well-coached team, and you know, we're definitely going to have to make sure that we play disciplined because they definitely are a disciplined team.
As we get towards the end of non-conference play now, with Columbia being the last non-conference game before CAA, what's something you didn't know about this team when you started the year? Obviously, there's been injuries and such, but that you've learned since that has been a positive for you?
You know, the grit and resilience, I think, are the two biggest things. Despite, you know, our record and just some of the games that we drop, we're pretty much in every single game that we're supposed to be in. And I think that says a lot about them staying together, them staying focused, and them. We we go from beginning to the end of the game punching, and we'll continue to do that.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Enjoy some time off, and then I know you guys are still be in the gym working.
Of course, thank you.
All right, that'll do it for us today on the Tiger Basketball Report. For the head coach, Laura Harper, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us. Have a great holiday season, and of course, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.